Seems like today, all Hollywood movies must have an insane car chase and scene with roaring engines, black tire marks, and actors skillfully driving through the sharpest turns to leave the bad guys behind. Well, what if I told you that in real life you can also find these examples of extreme car chases? Although the end is always a little predictable, that doesn't make them any less crazy. Don't believe us? Well, see for yourself. GTA in real life. You know, looking at this chase, I feel like I have a good idea of this criminal's favorite video game. Any guesses? Now, there isn't much information about what happened, but he apparently stole a white van in South Los Angeles and tried to escape with it. He had no problem dodging obstacles, but suddenly he crashed into a police car. But that didn't stop him. He backed up and tried to leave again. Another crash and still no stopping. Despite the presence of police cars, he tried to escape anyway. Look, he's literally pushing the other cars on the road to clear his way. The criminal didn't have any time to stop at the traffic light. He was being chased after all. He just keeps going and going and going. It's incredible how stubborn he turned out to be. But the most incredible part of the chase is, of course, the end. The man left the van and tried to escape, but suddenly he fell down. Oh, what a pity. Well, the cops went in to stop him, and let's be honest, they probably put a little too much effort into it. Guys, a couple of people would have been enough, you know. Besides, the wet floor is still on their side. Motorhome chase. Now, you might think that to escape from a high-speed chase, you need a fast and modern car. Otherwise, it won't be possible, right? Ha! That's because you've never tried to run away from the police in a motorhome. Julianne Rainberg, aged 52, bought a vehicle after stealing someone else's personal information. When the scheme was discovered, police tried to arrest the woman. She quickly floored the gas pedal. Julianne began to flee desperately and was driving so chaotically that she hit almost every obstacle in her path. For example, this palm tree.
Oh my gosh!
The criminal drove down the highway and then the city streets, ignoring traffic lights and occasionally bumping into other cars.
When the woman smashes into a car.
Oh!
But the half-broken RV kept going and she didn't want to give up. At one point, one of the woman's dogs decided he had had enough and jumped out of the car. At that moment, the criminal almost stopped, but seeing that her pet was fine, she sped up again. And turned out there was another dog in the car. What was she doing? Stealing a zoo? Julianne crashed into two more cars, practically pulling them off the road, until she finally stopped, only to escape once again. At that moment, the police found the woman and stopped her. And if you're worried about the dogs, both were taken to a veterinary clinic where they were given all the medical attention they needed. High-speed longboard chase. You can't surprise anyone with a car chase anymore. That's probably what the protagonist of this next video thought. This guy, suspected of stealing a BMW, was chased by the police through the streets of Van Nuys in 2014. He left Highway 405 at Victory Boulevard around 3:40 p.m. and drove through the city with a speed of around 85 miles per hour. The criminal skillfully avoided all obstacles without stopping on the way when he suddenly crashed into another car. Boom. But the chase was not over because the guy had a longboard. Yes, it's about to get juicy.
What the hell are you doing?
The suspect ran north through Valjean Avenue, climbed on the longboard, and awkwardly rode it a half a block before hitting traffic jams again. Or rather, the traffic jams found him again. The driver of a pickup blocked the guy for a few seconds. The criminal avoided the car and kept running. But at that moment, the same pickup was back in his path, blocking the driveway. Then the police arrived and the suspect was arrested. It later turned out that the driver of the pickup was none other than Lou Pizarro.
Lou Pizarro and his family.
The star of a television show. I saw a guy running with a skateboard in his hand and running away from the police. It was just an instinct to block him, to stop him a bit, Pizarro said. High-speed baby chase. In 2018, Texas authorities published an epic video chase. Caitlin Rodriguez tried to escape the police at a speed of 100 miles per hour while passing between the cars in a risky and dangerous manner. The end came quickly. Her Mercedes tires were deflated by a spike strip. and Rodriguez crashed into a truck. But wait, there's more. As soon as she stopped, she jumped out of the car and took out a baby out of the back seat and started running away on foot. I can't believe there was actually a baby in the car with her the whole time.
Where's that smile? There it is.
After crossing the street, the woman tried to get into another car to escape, but the officers managed to get there in time. The baby was carefully taken out of the car and the mother was arrested. Later, Caitlin Rodriguez was charged with evading arrest and endangering the child. It is said that the woman was wanted and began this crazy chase after a police officer asked her for her documents. Showboating criminals. Now, you might be thinking that the chases we've already shown you don't look quite like in the movies. Well, if so, take a look at this one. Two robbery suspects led a long and spectacular chase on a rainy day. They drove a blue Mustang cabriolet and apparently enjoyed what was happening. The suspects even performed several tricks on Hollywood Boulevard,
Whoa! You know, I don't know if this guy is showboating.
a street known for its walk of fame. The driver and passenger greeted other drivers and occasionally stopped when the car got into traffic jams. The people greeted them with cheers and applause.
In restaurants and bars, people couldn't turn away.
There were also dangerous moments. At one point, the Mustang hit another car. The incredible chase continued from the Cerritos area to the highways, through Hollywood and other parts of Los Angeles for more than an hour until the suspects reached South Los Angeles. And the end, of course, was no less spectacular. The chase ended with the driver and passenger sitting on the hood of the car, taking selfies, hugging, and chatting with a dozen of spectators for a few minutes before surrendering to the police without resistance. The impossibly young criminal. Adults love to talk about how hard adolescents are and how often their children get spoiled in those years. Bad habits, inappropriate friends. Well, if your parents like to talk about that, tell them about this 10-year-old from Cleveland. This kid stole his parents' car 3 times, leading to real chases with the police. Well, actually, he was only 10 years old the first time. 2017, on that occasion, he reached a speed of around 100 miles per hour and refused to stop. Fortunately, no one was hurt. It was harder to stop the young offender the second time. He was aggressive, kicking and spitting at the cops.
Kicked one trooper in the shins, spit at one trooper, and tried to spit.
The third time, the boy was speeding again and had an accident. His car flipped. The young criminal came out with minor injuries and fortunately didn't hurt anyone. You're probably wondering what the reason for the robbery was this time. The young boy said he had taken the car because the mother had taken his PlayStation. Wow. Just wow. Which one shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe for brand new videos weekly.
That's what I'm talking about.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.